I told Summer this, there is nothing that you can do that will make me leave you.
Yeah.
Nothing. Where's your mind go when I say that? Everybody listening.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
We were talking about this earlier.
We were. There's nothing you can do that's going to make me ever step away. Like I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm in it. Like I do not
It's
like
for better or
Yeah.
for worse till death do us part, or it's not.
Yeah, or it's not.
Right.
Or it's not. So don't put all that crap in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And have that sweet little moment when you're out, the first moment that someone acts human and does something stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid can happen.
Yep.
Now, do I want that to happen? Heck no.
No.
Oh my gosh, I want to punch somebody thinking about it.
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to become a husband that loves my wife as Christ loves the church, number one, I'll never live up to that. But I can do my darndest to actually try. There's people who's hearing this now and you're going through some marriage crisis right now. Mm-hmm. As long as both parties are saying, I'm at least open to try, there's hope.
Thank God God doesn't walk out on us when we screw up. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another conversation with your friends, Rhett and Justin, right here at Armchair Authentic, a podcast where we're stewarding our stories, our conversations, and even our relationships in a way that serve you. Now, Justin and I could not be more excited to dive into this today. So without further ado, our conversation begins right now.
So isn't relationship building, it's all about getting to know people.
Yeah.
And you're actually, which means like, I want to hear about you. So I need you to talk about yourself.
It's reciprocal.
And I want to talk a little bit about stuff too, but I need you to reciprocate or I'm just this guy talking about myself. Like that's relational.
Especially if you're sitting there trying to, like a conversation has been initiated. Maybe you're sitting down over coffee or you're in the hallway at church.
Yes.
And there has been this effort on both ends to at least initiate, oh, we're going there. We're going to have a conversation. Okay, great.
Yeah.
This is a two-way street.
Well, yeah.
Don't look at me like when I say something, just don't give me the eyes that look like, okay, the ghost.
I'll give you an example. Like our podcast, I've enjoyed doing this the past year.
Yeah, it's been
great.
Dude. Yeah, it's been fun.
We have good conversation. We're looking at each other now. It's just good. But
it's good for us. I don't know if it's good for anybody else.
You don't always realize the work that that goes into something, and there is an art to it. And we are created to work and produce, and you feel good about an effort. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's what relationship is. You're talking about some accomplishment, and it's almost a good way to get some things out, and to be maybe you want a little bit of a pat on the back, and then you're ready to pat somebody on the back. It has to be reciprocal, but. Actually, Rhett, I think we were talking about you. There was an individual I was talking about. It was Easter weekend.
Okay.
We're making small talk. Great time to talk. Great time to, you're just hanging. I'm talking with this individual, and they actually brought your name up, that you've been out of town. Mm-hmm. Actually, they had mentioned that you guys are going to get together. I'm like, oh, man, y'all going to have so much fun. And I said, yeah, he's out of town right now because you've been doing, you hit a couple of spots this past week of the time of our recording. And so I ended up saying to him, I said, by the way, literally, Rhett's in town and then I'm out of town. Yeah. I said, we actually got to get some podcast stuff recorded so that we can batch record to get us through. And I gave like a date through like mid-May because we like to get ahead a little bit, but not be too far ahead.
Yeah.
And I just said that just effortlessly. And it was a great moment to pause. And
It's enough breadcrumbs out there that gives somebody an opportunity to respond to the conversation.
And especially someone
to be a part of it.
You're in a relational, you're in a friendship that you're trying to probably build. We don't know each other great, but you're at least, you're inviting them in to ask a question to get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah. As
I had been doing for a little while with that individual, hearing them talk.
Like, tell me more about that. That's interesting. How does that work?
Crickets. I just went and said batch record. Well, that's an interesting word. I talked about getting ahead, having to think of the dynamics. We got to get this done while he's out. Before I'm away, he comes back. We're going to have this time. Got to get ahead. Boom. Lay it out there.
That either says the mind was just on another planet. That could have been a one-off. I don't know the individual or the relationship. but I've had times where people were talking to me and I was listening, but I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
I think that's happened. That's
Me
happened
too.
to us a couple times. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm going to forgive me. I'm sorry. My mind was somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, but I would have called myself out on that. I mean, bro, I'm so sorry.
Right.
I really want to hear what you have to say, but I have spaced out. Forgive me. Will you say that again, or either do we just move it forward at this point?
If you don't actually recognize that, and you're not on that level of a friendship to call each other out, or just know that you're occupied, you might actually miss a little moment to build something. Because right now, it was like, all right, good. I kind of moved on from that moment, and we did not have that chance to connect. And maybe there's another time we will, but it just takes that reciprocation. Like with you, I know there's times I know you, Rhett, just like you know me. I can tell when we're on the phone and I've gotten into something that I've gone on a little while, and I can already tell you're checking something out on the internet.
I'm like,
and I can tell.
What's my go-to? Is it?
You're like, yeah. And I'm like, the emotion of your word does not carry the emotional level
I'm not
of
gonna
what
lie,
I just
that
said.
happens sometimes, man. We get going. I'm like an hour and 30 minutes later. I'm like looking at my phone, going, "Huh, okay."
I'm like, it's your turn. All right, go ahead and say something now. and I love how we're kings of playing off the fact, proving we were listening. It's like, I mean, just sometimes that's really key. It's really key. When you experience something like that,
like,
God's got this, man. God's got it.
Mine's like, I hear you. I hear you. Yep.
Yeah. And if there's still silence, because they need a little more to know that you're listening,
you're like, wait,
you're just
why
fishing for more. It's like, that's, I mean, you know what? And not only do I hear
I'll
you,
own
but
it, dude.
that is a thing.
Yeah.
Not only do I hear you, bro, that's real.
We've been doing this too long, man, where I'm like, bro, I will interrupt you and go, bro, I'm so sorry. I've zoned out. You're going to either have to repeat it or we're going to have to move on.
Yeah.
Or I got a text or I got an email, I got a voice, something popped up, on my phone, or totally threw me off. Or I'm thinking about, bro, I'd love to think about this, but I really got to dive into what I'm doing next. I'm so sorry.
Absolutely. Yes.
But I'll call it for what it is. So when I'm in a conversation, I have a lot of small talk, as a church leader. I have the opportunity to say hello to a lot of people before service, after service. And sometimes there will be individuals you're connecting with. And it is an art to sit there and to really try to just focus in on that one person or the couple or the family, and to disengage with everything else that's going on around you.
Yeah.
There are times where I'm listening and it might be too loud in the room, maybe the music or whatever, and somebody's opening up saying something. And I've gotten to the point now where I'll say, I apologize. I know you just shared something that I really want to know, but I got distracted. Somehow I missed that moment. Will you please forget? Like, I'm at that point now to where I don't care. Like, used to, I would have just kept playing it. Yeah. Oh yeah. And moving up and then looking at you like with a blank stare, because the response you're giving them is not, you're like got a smile on your face when you probably should have more of an empathetic kind of like
in the middle.
I'm
not really.
Yeah. Like, and I missed this, but now I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. You've said your name 3 times and I have forgotten. That is on me. Please forgive me. Your name is, your wife's name is, your kids. Okay. I literally, I won't make excuses now. And maybe that's just what happens when you get older. Yeah. Kind of like the guy that went to our church. Every once in a while there'd be he's an older gentleman.
Keep going so I can track with you. Okay. I'm not tracking yet. Keep going.
He was in the military. And this is back at Parkway days.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Trying to be honoring.
Oh yeah.
We'd be sitting there talking, older gentleman, probably needs a hearing aid.
Yeah.
He's super sweet, super kind. I mean, no disrespect, but there is a certain age you hit where I guess you just don't even care about bodily flatulence. At the church.
I remember that.
And you're talking and then you hear a little, and you're like, and the brother's still talking to you and you're right there.
As it just keeps going.
And it goes. And along with all the wonderful.
At some point you're harmonizing. Because it's just going as you're talking.
I'm like, bro, okay, and to those who are listening and have lost all respect for me, that's okay. Just hang out, listen to a few more episodes. We talk about being disengaged from a conversation to someone who served as a high-ranking official in the military who's very old now.
Those are his golden years now. Yeah. He doesn't have to.
Oh, man, he was a great guy.
Yeah.
And, but I was like, that was just one of those things. You're like, okay, I'm gonna have to sit through this and I'm not going to call it out. Just going to keep moving.
Respect your elders.
Yeah. Can we carry this conversation on down the hallway, please? Can we move it downwind? Anyway.
Yes, that's
okay.
Well, and I remember when me and Summer were dating, and she lived probably, I mean, it had to have been 55 minutes from kind of where we hung out.
Okay.
You know, in downtown Birmingham. She lived more, or just Birmingham in general, but she lived in Hayden, which was 55 minutes.
That's a long way away.
It is. And so we would have, especially if you're dating, you're hanging out late, and then she'll drive home late. And so we'd be on the phone together.
Yeah.
And she would start talking, but you hit this moment where you're just so tired, where you've disengaged. There wasn't the internet like on your phone then.
So she's driving home. You're
She's
talking.
driving.
You're
We're
at
having
home.
conversation
Right.
going. I'm probably laying in the bed. I'm getting
Yeah.
tired. And she's just talking. Mm-hmm. And she could get that sense because I would respond to like, yeah.
You were asleep.
Yeah. And
You
she
were giving the Delilah response.
She would just kind of start talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what happened? You're listening to. Yeah.
Delilah.
Yeah. Love someone tonight.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
And so, but she would then go into a conversation and say, yeah. And then really the crazy thing that happened, I'm like, yeah. She said, I got to my house and it's burning on fire. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, I mean, I really don't even know if I'm safe. I'm like, man. She's like, are you even listening to what I'm saying?
You.
She's saying every bad scenario. And I'm just like, right.
Yeah.
Right. And she called me out on it. So it's a real thing, trying to lock in.
That's when you probably had
conversation.
the phone that had the long antenna on it. That was the wireless phone in the house that day.
Yeah, man.
You laying your head on the pillow at night on the bed with it just under the one ear.
Yeah, I always had. I was the
asleep.
guy because I was the more social of the family.
Yeah.
I would have the wireless phone in my room because I'm much more likely to get a phone call at 1 a.m. from a friend, and I don't want it ringing with Dad. You know what I mean?
Of course not.
So we had a lot of those.
Yes. Anyways,
I remember my brother. Literally, I get a phone call at like 3 a.m. one time, and I answer it, and it's my brother. He's like, "Juh." I'm disoriented. Like, what? He's like, you come pick me up right now. And so thankfully it's not this way. We've grown so close, but he would even say he apologizes for the way he treated me when I was younger.
Does he?
Because he would beat me up like crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm younger, but I'm
90%
able.
of those.
You did. And you received some of
I
those.
received some of them, yeah.
And so I was driving by this time, but he called and said, I need you to come pick me up right now. Like car broke down in the middle of nowhere. I remember it's October.
Oh my gosh.
It's already a little weird outside. It's that twilight kind of night, and I'm in my car trying to even track him down where he is because he had to find a local payphone. And so, but he ran back into the wooded area.
This is before Google Maps and Apple Maps.
Oh, yeah. So I know he's in this area where it's a wooded area, man. And I'm driving my car, not even knowing for sure if I'm in the right space at 3-something in the morning.
Yeah.
And of course, I end up finding him, but he was like, you will not tell Dad this. Do not tell Dad. Because I wanted to tell Dad, go get him.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, and so
Where
after
was
that
he?
night, it was like, well, where we live in Birmingham, it wouldn't seem in the middle of nowhere now because it's kind of the Liberty Park area.
Okay.
But that back road, kind of where, not Rex Lake Road, if you take one way, but
connector from
there's
Liberty Park
another
over to
road.
Cava.
It has a different name. Yes, that connector road. That used to seem like you're in the middle of nowhere.
Got it.
Tree. I mean, it was everything out there.
Car breakdown?
Yeah.
Well, there you
And I grabbed him, and I mean, I said, come on, let's go. Took him home, got him in the car.
You know, one thing I remember riding with your brother, you know, he's really short. You know, I'm really tall, 6'1", and your brother's what, like 5 something?
5'4", probably.
He had so the little Buick that he had. I don't remember a Buick Regal or something. It was always a Buick in your family. We mentioned this in the previous episode.
Yeah, Papa. We were Papas.
But this was the day and age where the driver's seat and the passenger seat were just one big bucket seat. Not a bucket seat, excuse me. A bench. The bench seat.
The bench seat where three could sit on the front.
So So if the driver needed to shift his seat all the way up,
you all did.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
And so it would have made more sense for me to ride in the back because I would have had a limo legroom, you know, in the back. But that looks awkward going down the road, you know. And
he's
so,
your limo driver.
So literally my knees to chest in the front seat of that thing.
Yeah, you're a
man.
lot taller, so your knees are like
yeah.
touching on that. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
literally knees to chest moments in that
That's what
Buick.
always made my brother so dangerous, because people wouldn't realize the uncanny power that individual has.
Yes, your brother is
and people-
very strong,
very
and
strong, very
yep.
skilled. I mean,
Not
he's
scared
a
of anything.
fighter.
Yep.
He just knows how to. You know the guys who know everywhere to touch where the nerves are. That it's like it puts you out.
I know how to knock you to your feet with your knuckle.
He's
Yeah,
learned.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
He can punch you. He knows where, like, the part of your arm to squeeze. You feel like you've lost all control of your body. Like, he's learned all this stuff.
Yeah.
And if the world ever shuts down, go to his house.
He's a scrappy little individual.
You go to his house because he's got every gun in the world. I mean,
Does he have a bunker somewhere under the house?
I cannot answer
You
that
won't
question over
confirm
the
or
airwaves.
deny.
But all I'll say is, if the world's coming to an end, I'm going to hang out with Bo,
Yeah.
and we're going to be just fine.
Yeah. So on another note, you had brought this to my attention. From the time this episode drops, we will be sharing something that is really, I'm going to say it's weird to share. It's pretty cool to share.
It is
But like
cool.
not just sharing as far as communicating, but like actually sharing a date
Yes, I know. Yeah.
on the calendar.
Yes. Anniversary date
I know.
on this week. Yes.
Is it this week? I mean, what day is it actually? Let me look at the
Yes.
calendar.
So-
I know it's the 29th.
It will be, by the time this is being recorded, this will be the 28th.
Yeah, so this comes out on the 28th. So tomorrow,
So if you're listening to this on the Monday it drops, tomorrow,
Tuesday, the 29th of April,
yes, me
2025.
and Rhett celebrate, not together.
No, let's make that very clear.
We celebrate
let's
our
like-
wedding anniversary to our two women.
To be clear,
One
Justin
each.
has one. Let's be very clear. Oh man,
Yeah, we got to
Justin
shape
has
this up a
one.
little bit. We tried to be romantic and it just backfired royally. Let's explain.
Okay,
Let's break this down.
Justin,
We both share the
man.
same wedding anniversary day of April
Yes.
29th.
Yeah, Justin, you've been married how many years to summer?
We will be celebrating 25 years.
You'll be celebrating 25. We'll be celebrating 19.
Yes.
Not we, but
It is. Yeah, I'm glad we clarified.
to my beautiful, courageous, strong, brave, amazing
Yes.
woman, Linda Barden.
That's right. Let's make it clear.
If anybody tries to chop this and edit this out any other way, we're screwed.
Y'all will have. I mean, we are not even making it fair for ourselves right now.
No, we're not.
But yeah.
This is what happens when you just, record a podcast without eating very much food. This is what
That's true.
happens.
I am a little hungry, and we
Yeah,
would
so-
just completed a very, very busy weekend of Easter. So it's like you mix all this.
Yeah.
We are
Well, think
hungry people right now.
Think about, it's one thing that we've had a friendship for 39 years now,
39.
which you just had a birthday. Let's celebrate that.
A
5, 6, 7, 8, happy birthday. Woo! To you. Hey, welcome to the 47 Club.
Thank you very much.
So it's one thing to, be in a friendship for 39 years, but then you get married to Summer on April 29th. And, and then when I meet Linda and get married, I'm not even thinking, I'm not thinking about your anniversary
know
date.
you're not.
No clue.
I know.
In fact, we had other dates in mind that due to family dynamics and stuff that couldn't happen.
Yeah.
We ended up choosing April 29th. And then it turns out you were like, hey, that's our wedding anniversary. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
It's so
crazy.
random. Yeah, and then my oldest and your son. I mean, it's like,
Oh, man.
yours is Max, mine's Dax. Once again, we didn't plan it that way.
No.
But it's funny. Like,
Yeah.
it was Daxton.
Yeah.
And so now it's like Dax and Max.
Dax and Max. Max and Dax.
April 29th.
Yeah.
Wedding anniversary. Just 6 years difference. It's pretty crazy, man.
Did you ever watch Ruby and Max? Ruby and Max.
I remember the name.
Ruby
Really?
and Max.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I didn't realize that was
would
the
be
theme
like
song.
3 or 4. I don't know if it is or not.
Okay.
That was when Max is like 3 or 4. He is definitely not watching that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Pretty interesting.
Well, what's cool for us is we're going to be celebrating 25 years But
25 years, baby.
I mean,
Let's
come
go.
on, quarter of a century. So
That's-
crazy. We have been married longer than we were alive single. So I got married at what that happened last year. We got married. I was age 22.
Okay.
So, and we've been married 25 years. So, I mean, we've outgained our single living being as a married couple.
I'm trying to think. I'll need to be 28. Mine will be that 28 year mark. 28, 29. So kind of ways to go.
Is that right? You'll be there. Yeah. You'll be there.
Yeah, I was thinking that way. Was it 28, 29? I think it was 29 when Max was born. Yeah. Anyways.
But we talked about it before that, Summer recently got her doctorate. And so she is Dr. Summer Bradshaw, but she finished, it would have been last September.
Okay.
And, you walk, usually if you don't get a certain time finished, you are walking in May instead of October. And so we've been planning this for a while, but she is going to be hooded, as they call it. Like she'll be doing the walking, do the graduation ceremony.
Yeah.
And she has gone to GCU, which is Grand Canyon University, which is in Phoenix, Arizona.
Loving their commercials.
I know they're everywhere now. Well, I told Summer, I said,
Every time it comes on, I'm like, that's where Summer's going to go walk.
I had never heard of Grand Canyon University before she went there.
Yeah.
Of course, thing you learn, west of the Mason-Dixon line, that's like what people know of. Like we know of Liberty University. And so found out it's an amazing college, huge campus, one of the largest Christian colleges, like physically, but also online, largest attendance. So huge online attendance there. But we've been planning a trip to the Grand Canyon. So we'll literally...
You're going to love it, man.
Man, we're so pumped because once again, as you're listening to this, we are...
Keep your kids away from the edge, buddy. Keep your kids away from the edge.
We're going to go check out the Antelope Canyon.
It's not like there's a fence around it.
No, be aware, this is real life. This is not fake.
This is real life. Yeah.
We'll land in Phoenix. We'll drive. We got a big rental car ready to fit all 6 of us. Head straight up to the north, in Antelope Canyon. Spend a couple of days there. Do some kayaking. And then make our way to the Grand Canyon, spend a few days there, do some glamping. I'm a glamping guy. I don't know how camping I am, but I'm glamping all the way. And then make our way down into Phoenix and just, enjoy some, like a little water resort, stuff like that. And then on the 29th, she, so everything I'm saying would have already happened. But then on the 29th, if you're listening now, she will be walking and officially getting to get hooded.
That's exciting.
As Dr. Summer Bradshaw. Watch out, world.
Yeah.
And then we make our way back home and kind of get ready for the next season. I mean, school's going to be getting out. Colleges, we participate with Highlands College, so that's going to be ending. They're going to be graduating, and from a church standpoint, you and I being on church staff, you kind of summertime, you kind of take that a little bit of a lull. You try to get some rest and get refocused for late summer, early fall seasons, which are primary peak seasons when families come back and get ready for the next school year. So this is going to be a fun trip. I am very excited. I remember stories you told me about Grand Canyon when you were a kid.
14 years old.
This is bucket list item for me to actually get to be out in the middle of nowhere like this and look at the stars.
Yeah.
We've tried to align all we could.
Yeah.
To do that. So it's kind of a delayed.
I'm looking forward to the stories that come from it. It's for us
like 20. It's going to be 25. We're celebrating 25 years. So that's a bucket list trip. I remember in 2020 for our 20 year, we were going to try to go to like Greece. We were going to do something special for the 20 year.
Yeah. And
COVID shut it down. So we've kind of had this on the heels of we're going to get out somewhere. So we just decided make it a family deal.
Yeah. And
then us two, we'll try to get away at another point. It's sometime.
That's really good, man.
Yeah, 25 years, man, of marriage, baby.
And to get to celebrate that on a monumental moment for Summer, and then your anniversary, and then with the kids, and have it all collectively together. Yeah, it's going to be a memory maker for lifetime, man. The kids are going to look back and go, man, I remember that trip. I
don't. I guess you're this way too a little bit. I'm a big numbers guy in the sense of. I will look at certain benchmarks. And so for me, it's just really neat. Like literally as she's walking on our anniversary. Yeah. So the same day, I mean, just the symbol, she's already received her doctorate. She's already a doctor, but to have the symbol of her getting hooded And then that's also in our 25 year. You know, we've always kind of flowed in that with what we've noticed with the way the Lord works in our life. It's really cool how you can look at certain, you know, not to be this, what do they call it, numerologist?
Yeah, but I think there's significance. I mean, there is significance in the Bible with numbers.
There's significance in numbers. I agree. And so 25 years, we've been looking to this date for a while now. So, you know, when you've been looking for something and it's finally upon you, we just know that it's like, I don't know what that means, but we're really excited. It feels like there's a closing to a chapter and there's something special. And so we're just we're open-handed and say, come on, Lord, this is awesome.
Yeah, man. I love that, dude. It's really good. No, you're talking about the Grand Canyon and me getting a chance to go when I was younger. I'll never forget. It was the first time that I ever went to now it's not West Coast. I get it, but that far west to where you get off a plane and you're in the desert and they're like, whoa, there's no green anywhere, no trees. This is amazing. Mountains off, you know, off in the distance, and just a completely different dynamic. I mean, the things you saw in cartoons, you're like, oh my gosh, there's a cactus. Like I've only seen that in a cartoon, you know?
I've yet to see one, man. I mean, I'm ready to see a cactus.
You're going to see plenty of them, dude.
Good.
And just all that. But I'll never forget. So my grandparents, I guess with their money and their retirement, they paid for a trip for my dad and I and my cousin and all of us to go. So we went to Las Vegas, got off the plane there. Yeah. And I'll never forget as a kid being like, oh my God, all the like anything I've seen on the movies, you know, and at that point I saw way too much.
It's true.
It's really pre-Jesus. But I was like, oh, that was in that movie and this movie. And I'm walking through casinos and stuff as a 14-year-old. And I remember playing the slot machines and went right beside my dad. And like, oh, I'm winning. And then the security would come over and like kick me out. And I'd walk right back in the other door. Yeah. You know, it's so stupid, right?
Oh, that's such a fun. That's so cool. Because that was Vegas?
Yeah, Las Vegas.
Yeah, because
I'm playing the nickel slots or whatever they are. I do not recommend this. I'm just telling you what my life is. This is Armchair Authentic. I would not be authentic if I didn't tell you what I was doing at 14 in Vegas. And with my dad, But from there, we went to the Hoover Dam. We took our dam photo. We were on the dam elevator.
Yes, you were.
We saw
you just made this get rated E.
I mean, is it?
Just lost
no. Like literally,
water dam.
They do that. It's the Hoover Dam. It's
totally.
It's a dam.
Yes, it's
dam. What else is it supposed to do?
I love it. Yes, you're on a dam road.
Yes.
Yes.
I took my damn
you
photo.
See the people working there. It's the damn people. Yes, I'm so with you.
And don't believe me, they milk that for all it's worth.
I've been there, man. They do.
It's so funny.
And I think every Christian does when a Christian visits.
It's like, hey,
it's our moment.
This is my moment.
We were with our church staff, and it was like everybody wanted to talk about all the damn stuff.
But you're going to experience, I don't know when you went, but like they've changed it now. Like you can actually bypass it. I think they built a bridge or something else. You don't go over it anymore. You can maybe still. I don't know. But the only way across was the Hoover Dam. Yeah. And that was a lot of fun, man. And then from there, went over to Flagstaff, Arizona, and then to the Grand Canyon, did the Petrified Forest, whatever there was to do in the Flagstaff area. We drove down to Sedona, and then I think we flew out of Phoenix. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we did.
I heard Sedona is amazing.
That whole area is beautiful. I mean, I wouldn't want to live there. I mean, it's beautiful. It's hot. And
it's going to be 95.
You know, like we go to the beach where we live, right? Yeah. To get away. People in Idaho and that northern region of the Northwest, they're like, oh man, we're going to Arizona, going to Phoenix. Really? Everything is Phoenix. Like we're going to Phoenix, we got a timeshare there, or we're going to Las Vegas, we got a timeshare there. You know, it's like everybody goes to those places on that side of the country. Or I say everybody.
But then a lot of people want to go to Idaho and Montana for what they have. So, but if you're there, you go other places.
Yeah, right. And they do. They
live in
do the mountain
paradise,
stuff, but
we don't recognize it.
But in the winter, they'll go to Phoenix. Yeah. In the winter, they'll go. You know.
Yeah, because of weather.
I was like, why you go to Phoenix? You're like, oh man, there's all kind of tourism stuff. I'm like, oh, cool. I never thought about that.
I've been to Vegas once, and Vegas was cool. You know, in a weird kind of way. You know, if you're ever in Vegas, just don't look down on the ground because there's a lot of cards. But we had to learn that lesson because we had one of my buddies. He was actually
eyes up, heads up.
He was on the podcast with us one time. It was Lance.
Okay.
Akmalatiza. Remember that was his word.
Yeah, take that spear.
You got to take that thought captive. He had to because he's this sweet old lady. Yeah. walks up to him, and she's got like these cards that she's passing out to people. She's like, "Hello, Shani," and Lance he's as kind as it is. He's like, "Oh yeah," and she's like, "Can I show you something?" And he's like, "Oh yes, ma'am, yes." And he walks up, and she hands him a card, and it's the card you don't want to look at. He throws it to the ground, and he's like, "Man, that little old lady." And so that was like, we just had to walk around, heads up. But I just remember I wanted, like, for some reason, crab legs so bad.
You go to a hotel, their food's amazing.
I was craving crab legs, and we found a way to get to the Bellagio, to their little restaurant, all you can eat buffet. So I go into we don't go into the casino area, obviously, but we go into the Bellagio and make our way, and I eat crab legs, for days.
Hey friends, just want to take a moment and say, if you are enjoying today's conversation, could you do us a huge favor? Would you take a moment and copy the link from your favorite podcast platform and share it with a friend? Email it to a friend. How about airdropping it over to your buddy or your sister right now? Man, that would mean so much to us. Thank you. All right, guys, back to the conversation. You didn't even walk through the casino area?
No.
Really?
We did.
There's just a bunch of people in there just pulling slots and 7-Eleven or whatever it is.
Yeah. And I don't mean it. I don't mean it in a judgment kind of way. I just remember walking through. There was just so much to see. The fountains from Ocean's 11. I mean, we were living the moment.
You didn't get close enough to hear all the ding, 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 and all the music and all that. You can't
escape that. Oh yeah.
I mean, the melodic tones that
you had to cut through certain rooms too, where you're passing all that. Okay. So yeah, I've walked in some of those rooms, but I didn't get to go into the depths where you got like all the blackjack, you got all the 7-Eleven, all that stuff going or whatever. I don't even know the names of it, but the spinning little that you see in movies, or you never saw whatever
craps
table. You never saw any of that. But it was.
It doesn't feel real when you're in it. You're like, sure. Yeah, like money becomes just this, like, what is money? It's just a little chip. And that chip is like a $500 chip. I'm like,
really crazy.
Nothing.
It's crazy,
It's so stupid. People lose their mind in those places.
Yeah.
The deception that's there, man.
And it's like its own world within a world. It's really like it's policed by its own crew. I mean, if you don't pay your bill,
the house always wins.
That's
what I'm
wins,
like.
Man.
They got
their eye on you. Yeah.
Have you seen Ocean's 11, 12, and 13?
Yeah. Those are great. The part one, 11 was the best.
That was the original one, right?
Yeah, that was classic.
I agree. Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to go to Bellagio too, because it was Ocean's 11.
Did you go stand out there at the fountain and watch?
Like we just pulled a heist.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. I was living the moment.
I pulled a heist.
Like we just kind of made our way out. Yeah. It was great. But we ate, we did that, walked around. Beautiful city. Yeah. There's a lot of beauty there that I was able to find. I was expecting it to be like a dirty town, but it is in certain ways.
On that strip right there.
But the buildings are immaculate. Yeah. They're clean. So if you're keeping your head up once again,
I wanted to.
We got out there, we got away unscathed. But I was also with like a band we were playing with, so it was a lot of good dudes that we knew. Like we had accountability. We enjoyed, but we got up out of there.
You had a group of people with you.
Yeah, when you're with friends, it's just a different experience. We got to experience it as foodies, being in a place where everybody else is like wanting to spend money.
I've been through that airport several times, and
now the airport feels like a casino.
Yeah, and that's
where you got all the.
I'll never forget. They still have smoke rooms there, like
really,
like when I say a smoke room, like a smoking section in the airport that's fully encased in glass.
Yeah,
so you're walking by and you just see swirls of smoke in there. Like, golly.
Yeah.
Like
Aunt Martha.
And they're in there pulling the slots with cigarette ashes hanging up.
Today's my day, baby. Here we go. Soon.
I saw a meme not long ago where it's like a guy's in a wheelchair and they're taking him. They're taking him towards a casino. I don't know if you don't know it's real anymore or not, but he's sitting in the wheelchair and as he gets closer, he can't wait. He gets up out of that thing and runs. And it looked like a miracle. It looked like a miracle video that you were about to see.
AI.
And then all of a sudden, that little guy gets out. He's running fast to the slot machine. He sits down. He's pulling him as fast as he can. Like he's so addicted. And so I don't know if it's AI or if it was real, but it was real funny.
All that to say, I think talking about that though, I was just from perspective going from the South, growing up with trees and lush green, and getting into the desert. I fell in love with it, man. Like there was something intriguing about the desert. It's
Yeah, we've
alluring.
never seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's like, ooh, you know, and as a kid, I felt like it was an escape for me, man. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this is
out in the middle of
awesome.
nowhere.
There's a life in the middle of the desert.
Yeah. Where not tons of people live.
Yeah, no.
Just kind of out there. Well, people say the
good.
same thing when they visit us. I never understood.
I see it
They would
differently
comment about our beauty, and I'm
I
like,
see it
wow.
differently
They're
now.
like, all these trees. Yeah, they're trees.
I have a completely different perspective of
Yeah, you live
Birmingham, Alabama now
lived
after
away
living
from
a few different places. And man, I love the mountains and I love high desert climates. But man, I don't know, man, for me, there's just nothing like the hills of Alabama, baby.
Southern boys.
Southern boys. That
Southern
red dirt
boys.
road down there, man. Let's go.
Yeah, and I'm the Birmingham all my life kind of guy.
Yeah, and all the trees hanging over the roads and twisty, windy roads that I used to couldn't
Beautiful. Now
stand. Give me
you
white.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
when I lived in Texas, I was like, oh, I can see. Nothing's in my way.
Yeah.
There's like this grid street, north, south, east, west. And then in Alabama, it's like, no, you got to go like 10 miles backwards before you can go forwards just to get through the hills and the way the roads are orchestrated. It's not as easy.
When I go visit you in
not as
Boise,
easy.
I always thought Boise was pretty, but I thought it was brown. You know, it was just
well,
like
yeah, it
that,
is.
that
in the,
mount-
it
that
is in the
mountain.
summer. Yeah.
It's just like
The Rocky
really?
Mountains are
I
brown.
love it, but it's really brown.
Yeah, that was a high
Really
desert.
brown around here.
Well, it was a desert
Yeah,
climate.
exactly.
So
But,
it's a
I mean,
high
you
desert climate, and then you have to go up over
Yeah.
what they would call the foothills, and those
Yeah.
foothills are always leading into the desert. And those up from Idaho, you're like, how could not anybody know this, right? But it's like the high desert, it's brown. I mean, you're in the desert,
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
So you got to get up over those hills, and once you get up over those hills, you're like, oh, there's the trees.
Yeah. But no one,
Yeah,
no
I got to
one,
go that direction.
I don't think of it
Yeah.
as the desert until I went there and you told me, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
But you knew all the spaces to show me where it was green also.
yeah.
So the vineyards, even like the, even being in downtown Boise where people could run the Beltway,
Beltway, yeah.
just all that. I mean,
they call it the green belt.
The green belt is all
it's
that.
green.
Beautiful, beautiful. Love that. Love the rivers. I mean, inner tubing down the Boise River. I mean, they're amazing memories.
What'd you laughing at? Amazing
a-
memories, and we'll leave it right there.
I had a
Some things
a
just
fun
need to
Rhett
be.
memory
Some
to
things
talk to.
just need to be just left unsaid.
Yeah,
you
that
know,
was funny.
that's one of those that was
was
just.
But the memory
unsaid.
was the awesome. Yeah. I'm not trying to make it more than it is.
No.
It was just it was a
it's
friend to
great.
friend kind of memory.
Yeah.
When I was
What
it was
happens on the
enjoyable.
river stays on the river.
It was enjoyable for me because I saw, like in the best of ways.
Yeah.
It was like
I'm in my
you
element.
were in your element, and that made me. It was just
the
that, I
water,
was
yeah,
just
the river,
pleased.
man, the water.
Being on the
there is-
water.
is beautiful. It's
Yeah.
30 degrees. I mean,
Yeah.
like you
But it
in the
was-
summer, it's
But the
Friggin'
memory,
cold. Yeah.
it is. The memory is just priceless to me, and I still remember us inner tubing just down the Boise River, and we went forever.
yeah. And every once in a while, I'll take a trip over when I'm up in Twin, and I'll drive over for a day, usually
it's
on a
great.
Saturday. And if I'm there, that's where I'm at. I'm walking
Yeah.
that little area. I
It
love
was
it.
gorgeous, and then I remember you taking me and Dax, you and Max, up to
Yeah.
the whitewater rafting or whatever they would call it,
Oh yeah. Down the
riding the
Payette.
bull.
Down the Payette.
That was great, and we kind of had that.
Yeah.
Kind of had a new guy there who was our guide
He's like,
because
this is like the first time I've gone down this river, fellas.
he did
They let
he,
me loose.
He gave us.
Yeah.
I do remember one time he said, "Well, this is a good one to jump out on if you want to actually just ride it without the float."
We did.
We did, but he didn't tell us. It was a tougher current than he remembered. He said just, what was it? Nose up, toes up.
Yeah.
Like he just said that.
It's
And I-
important because you don't want to get your feet caught underneath a rock.
No,
'cause
it
that's
could be
death.
terrible.
That's a death warrant.
But he sent us down a rough rapid.
Yeah.
Like our boys didn't get out, but me and you did. I mean, I was like, Lord, it's going to end right here. This is not the way I envisioned
Oh
this.
yeah, I've done that a couple
And
times.
after that hill, I'm like, I
Yeah.
thought you said that was an easy hill. He's like, I'm still learning it. I'm like, but you almost killed me. Like, let's be clear here. Like, I choked. I was drinking.
You had a life vest on. You're
It
going to
don't
float
matter.
down. You're fine.
I had so much water that I engulfed. Oh my gosh.
You did. You're not supposed to swallow water, Justin. You're supposed to hold your breath.
I tried.
It's amazing, though, when you're that low and you're eye level with it, you can't see what you think you can see.
Oh my gosh. I was like, what did I just agree to? And I could see Dax
Guys, it
looking
was
at
a
me.
light. It was just nothing. It was
Shut
so
up.
small. It was
Whatever.
such a small little wave that took you. It really was.
They seem small. Hey, audience, don't let him fool you. Don't let him fool you.
Oh, I did that one time with another guy
Making
that
it
came
look like
up
it's
there.
nothing.
I went up there with another guy, did the same thing, and the boat. I basically got disconnected from the boat so far they couldn't kind of come back to me, and so I ended up going down a couple of those, and it scared the rafting guy, and it kind of like took me a minute because they were like, "Oh, there's a rock, put your feet up." I'm like, my feet were up the whole time, and I slammed into a rock with my feet. I'm like,
Dude,
bam, yeah. And they're like, "Are you okay? Oh, you're freaking me." I'm like, "No, man, I'm good. We're good. You know, finally get back in the boat.
You better
at some
be good
point.
after that story a while ago, downplaying my experience.
Yeah,
You better not act like it was tough. Yeah.
It was the bathtub wave, everybody.
It didn't help that right when he said, "All right, get ready to go."
Yeah.
Like I ingested water by accident.
Yeah,
It's like
that
it
didn't
set
help,
me up
because then
bad.
you're like,
Now I'm dying. I'm dying. I mean, my feet are flaring. I'm like, this is it.
if I'm gonna go, this is how it is.
I remember looking up at Dax, and he's looking at me like, "Is he okay?"
Yeah.
I've got my thumbs up, like it's good.
That's when the adventure, the Rhett side of adventure, probably went a little too far with you. Is that
No,
what
I
was?
loved it.
Oh, okay.
I loved it. It seriously was getting out at that point,
Yeah.
and the rapid was heavier than he said, and I engulfed water, literally swallowed water, right on that first wave, and I was done.
Man.
So I was holding my breath, praying to God that, okay, let's let
Yeah.
this thing end, because I can't keep this going too much longer. We got to let people know though. It was a tough wave.
Yeah,
Come
it was
on, make
tough
it look
waves,
tough.
man.
Don't make it look
Yeah,
like it
it's
was little.
tough. Oh.
I'm like, man, come on, I got a little bit of swim in me.
It's like the wake behind a boat in a lake.
Yeah.
So, just kidding.
All right, so marriage.
Marriage.
I mean, come on,
Marriage.
marriage. It's what brings us together.
Together.
We got our experiences, man. This is,
Yeah.
One thing I do know that is connected me and you a lot is, it seems normal. I remember when I was getting married and you would, I'd have these guys just kind of, it's like, almost like the joke that people always make.
Okay.
Like, here's the ball and chain. Where it's like, and I know that it's just the joke that people like to make.
It's the world's joke.
It was the world's joke of like, well, hey, it was fun. I hope you enjoyed your fun because life changes now. Mm-hmm. And I remember hearing that stuff thinking,
Interesting.
I'm going to, I rebuke those even the little jokes. I can be
Were
the
these
guy.
from church people? Or?
Yeah,
I don't
everybody.
remember
It was
this.
just kind of it was a joke.
I remember one guy, speaking of jokes, he's like, all right, so what you need to do is you need to put, I don't know, a quarter, have a little savings bank or something off to the side. And you can put a penny, a dime, a dollar, whatever. It doesn't matter the amount.
Yeah.
It's like every day for the first year of marriage, you put a penny in there or a quarter in there for every time you make love to your wife. Right? And
Okay.
then put one in there. And then after a year, you start, it's like you take one out for how
Did
many
you
times
really?
you haven't
Oh my
had it.
goodness.
Right? And
That's funny.
if I remember,
I've never heard
if I
this.
remember correctly, it's like you're gonna fill that bank up. It's gonna be overflowing that first year, and then what you'll notice is it diminishes. Over time.
Yes. And it takes
you know.
a lot. Are you saying it takes a lot more years to take all the quarters out?
Yes.
To show how
That was
frequent-
it. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So then after a year, take one out every time you do have it. That was it, right? And see how long it takes you. You'll never empty it. Is basically what he was saying. I'm like, no, now get thee behind me, Satan. My wedding's going to be blessed and highly favored.
That's right.
And this is going to be good. We're going to have a good time. And I didn't do that. I'm not going to do that.
Nope.
I'm not going to speak to that. But
Nope.
anyways,
I never,
that was when people were giving you whatever they were giving you. There was
never lose that wonder. I mean, I do premarital counseling with couples all the time. Me and my wife will.
I love my wife.
And I love that they do we do an assessment called SYMBIS, Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts. And so it's actually a great survey or assessment they fill out, and me and my wife will actually lead them through that over a period of 6 weeks. And so there's a question that they'll ask where you actually you're warming up with each other first, but then maybe week 3 or week 4 you get on like the sex talk.
Yeah.
And it'll ask questions like, so what's the frequency you envision, making love? And I
Things
love
that
it.
People should talk about.
I love it. It's like usually the guy's like multiple times a day, and and the girl will be more like, it'll say like, some will be like every day, some are like every other day, every week. It's the guys are pretty much you got the same answer.
Yeah.
But the girls, it just kind of it's funny. It's always cute.
Yeah.
And when I'm leading this, I always remind myself, do not be the guys.
Yeah.
Who not the ball and chain. I can't stand that. But more like the joke that you're saying.
The joke that I received, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to do it because in my mind, I'll see the answers and I will think, how cute.
Yeah.
Ain't that precious that they think that's going to happen. Me and Summer just kind of wink at each other like, let's don't burst their bubble.
Yeah. No, because even
We're
if
like,
you
so
told
let's
them, they're
talk
not going to
about
believe
that.
it. They're going to be like, no, we're the 1%, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to be the one that breaks this curve.
And you just got to call it out loud. I'm like, so you answered, and I'll say, you answered several times a day. And then the future spouse looks at him like, really?
Like, okay, all right.
She said once a week. And he's like, no. I mean, so it's fun. You get to have
kind of
them
working out that before
you're
they get
having
married.
them talk it out, and it's actually a wonderful exercise.
Yeah. Well, that way with money too. What are the big
hit
three?
everything.
It's sex, family, finances.
Yeah.
Those are the three big rocks that if you don't talk about and figure out, because what they don't like family, like what about family? Well, you marry the family. Like
That's
you
right.
are in
I don't
the
care
family.
what anybody says.
No, I don't. Yeah, exactly. You marry the family.
Yeah.
And you can say what you want to say, bro.
Right.
Like
you can go Romeo and Juliet it all you want.
And when you marry the family, they've got an agenda for your life, even if you don't think they got.
It's true.
They really do. That's a huge in finances.
Yeah.
People who think, well, we'll just keep our separate bank accounts. I'm like, oh my gosh.
What you have is hers.
Yes. And what's hers is hers, and what you have is hers is all hers.
And as long as you can live by that, you're going to be good.
Yeah.
You're going to be just fine.
So I don't know if this happens in anybody else's marriage, and I think I can talk about this because it's fun, and this is a fun talk. But Linda has this, and she's amazing. But like every couple of weeks, we'll go run some errands, and that usually means we're going to go return some stuff, right?
Yeah,
clothing and whatnots. And whenever we return these things, we get a credit back to our account. And I'm like, awesome. We have X amount of dollars that are going back into our account. And she's like, no, that's my money. And I'm like,
it's fun money.
What are you talking about? She said, no, that's free money. And I'm like, I'm on to you, woman. I know what's going on. Like, so
but it originated in our account.
If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have money. Let me just be very clear. Okay. So like she is the financial guru genius in our family and keeps us afloat, because if I were in charge of it, we'd have a lot of fun. We just wouldn't have money. That's the truth.
Oh, that's good.
Because I like having fun. I'll create a memory right now. $5,000, no worries. We'll make that back up. It'll take me 10 years, but we'll get it.
We get it.
Yeah. But anyway, so like she's got free money. So if you're a friend of Linda, you're like, hey, where you get that free money? It's basically I bought some stuff, I've returned it, and when I've returned it, I get the credit. That's free money.
That's right.
So they're paying me to shop.
And so why not shop?
I'm like, so why not shop? I'm like,
you gotta shop. If it's free.
There are people listening to this right now going, exactly, that math works. And then there's others of you going, oh no.
Yeah.
But 19 years. Like, yes, ma'am. Like, hey, you enjoy your free money, baby.
That's right. Go. We work it out.
Yeah, because, man, I'm so blessed. I'm so thankful.
Well,
we have a good time, and man, there's so much trust with finances between us, because you know, she married into hell when it came to my finances. And that's,
Well,
and that,
that's
dude,
a story right
and
there.
that's a whole nother story in of itself of some not earned,
Talk a little
you know,
bit about reference episode 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Interview with Rhett Barton.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, she was a huge part of getting me out of some debt that was incurred, not necessarily from decisions I made,
Right.
but from other decisions that kind of followed me. But anyway, all that to say, I'm just trying to honor her. I'm kidding with having some fun about, 19 years in, wedding anniversary, free money. But
Yeah, no, I know you
I
are.
want to be sure I paint the right picture because
You do, Rhett. And that's why I wanted to, when I even started our talk down this lane that I was going to originally say, I love that we actually took a different direction. But one of the original thoughts I was going to say is one of our bonds that you and I have is like we both have high honor for our spouse.
100%.
And so, I mean, we share so much with each other. Like, I mean, other than what, Summer's going to hear from me and what Linda's going to hear from you, the depths of intimacy.
Yeah.
Like my second person I can go to and tell other things, it's going to be you. But I have only heard out of your lips the positive, like the wonders of who Linda is. And that's what that's what I think draws us together in this, because we love our spouses.
Yeah.
We love Summer. We love Linda so much. And we recognize that anything that we do, like it's a partnership with them. So the talking that I started out with the whole, the old man, like the ball and chain, like that never computed with me.
Me neither, bro.
Because I always wanted to have that family. I always saw a spouse as this is someone who not
a gift.
It's not going to complete me. I had enough relationship with Jesus to know I'm not looking for someone to complete me. I was already whole on my own. I would have been fine with Jesus and to develop. I was who I was.
That's funny you say that, because I bring me back to that, because I wasn't there.
Well,
I believed it. I just didn't communicate it the right way.
I am completely. I was whole when I met Summer, and I let her know that, and she was whole. Like she went through the process where she would say she became whole, and we married as two wholes, and that was a big language with us. And so she was. I mean, she became my best friend. Like truly, like, I mean, obviously I can say all the other lines, the love of my life. I'm passionately in love still more now at 25 years than I've ever been. But the words just don't even do justice anymore, because we're at such a depth.
Yeah.
We're just now getting to certain intimacies and vulnerabilities as we're hitting this level of our own journeys that it's like, it's wonderful. And the whole ball and chain never made sense. So what I noticed is there's kind of this guys club, that you could grow up around, where it's like we tell our secrets and
misery loves company.
And then we just kind of talk about it. I'd be in locker rooms, I'd be you name it, and people are talking about their spouses, and I would never jump in. It's just like you will never hear a negative thing about Summer Bradshaw.
Yeah,
and I just wouldn't ever go there. It just never hit. I mean, even the thought of it hitting my mind, like this woman. Yeah, she is amazing. From day one. Anytime there's been that secret of anybody who would say, "Now let me just tell you this," if it even seems like a secret I'm like, "Are you telling me something you're expecting that I'm not going to tell my wife?"
Right.
She knows everything.
Yeah,
because I am not sworn by any confidentiality. If you talk to me, you're talking to my wife.
Of course, because you're one. You're either one or you're not. I mean,
yeah. Now she's different because she is a licensed therapist.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
I don't know who she meets with because I don't need to know.
There's laws and everything in
There's
place
confidentiality reports.
Exactly.
All that stuff I don't need to know. But when it comes to like intimacy and friendship and what we're going through in life, if you ever try to even come in that whisper tone of like, now this is just between us, not really Summer, I'm like, I will stop you in your tracks.
Yeah.
I'll say,
then don't share it with me,
brother,
because it's going right to her. Because I talked to her about everything.
I will not. Yeah. I will not keep this from my wife.
Yeah,
like she is part of everything, and we've just had that bond. And she is like my best friend. Who like I want to be with her. Yeah, I want to spend time with her. Yeah, I want to do ministry with her.
But you've grown to that level, and Linda and I've grown to that level too. Like,
absolutely,
it's amazing. And
but you build it's building blocks. So you've got and anybody who's listening to this, maybe you're stepping into marriage or you're trying to make your marriage better. it takes a lot of intentional work. So everything that I'm saying, none of this
takes a lot of humility.
It doesn't mean that it's easy.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of
easy.
humility. We are constantly negotiating and sacrificing our own wants and desires for one another.
Yeah.
But yet I feel like all my wants and desires get fulfilled.
I tell people, it's really good. I tell people, you don't realize how selfish you are until you get married. But you really don't realize how selfish you are until you have kids and you're married.
Boom.
And so,
Bang.
and so whenever I'm walking an individual through premarital counseling, I haven't done that in a while, but if I remember correctly, I always kind of kid with them. I'm like, if I can talk y'all out of getting married before you get married, like if we're going through all these sex and family and finances, and if I can create enough like moments to where you guys are like, I don't think we should get married because we can't see eye to eye on anything.
Right.
Well, you probably shouldn't get married. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not purposely going at this trying to wreck you, because that's not what I'm doing.
No.
But I am trying to push enough buttons here and get a conversation toward that conflict thing we talked about, right? Not just keeping the peace. Because being able to communicate with each other in a way that honors each other to where you can, survive this over time. Because if they can work through these hard issues now, then they're going to be successful in their marriage.
Right.
So in these premarital counseling sessions, I'm always reminding the husband, I'm like, okay, so we're going to get to this point, right? We're going to read this verse. And, I'm going to read this part to the wife. She's going to repeat it and you're going to repeat it. And it's this whole idea of, they're... The biggest thing the wife is asked to do is to really honestly love and respect her husband. But all the things that the husband's asked to do, according to scripture, is basically to die.
Yeah.
I'm going to die. As Christ loved the church,
yes,
I'm going to give my life to you.
Yep.
What did Christ do?
Yep.
He died.
He died. Yeah.
Like 100%. So if you're not willing to die, right?
That's true. Come on. You're speaking my language now.
You shouldn't take the next step. And so... Because at the end of the day, talking about the selfish thing, right? You don't realize how selfish you are till you get married, because when you get married and you realize how selfish you are, and anybody who's been married or even in a relationship, you realize, wow, if you got enough awareness about you, you realize, man, I like things the way they are. I want my AC where it's set. I want my music where it's set. I want my room where it's set. I've got and anyways, you just got your routines and habits in life. But I'm always reminding them, like, listen, when a hard time comes, remember, you as the husband are called to lay down your life. Doesn't mean to become a doormat. That's not what I'm saying.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, my life is lived to serve her the way Christ came to serve the church.
Yep.
And that is a huge commitment that goes way beyond words. And so when times get tough, I'm always like, hey, you know what? Like, 19 years, 25 years of marriage, right? Yep. You don't get there overnight. You get there through a lot of honest, intentional, or sometimes unintentional conversations. And you've got to learn how to work and communicate with each other. And you had mentioned with you and Summer, to where you guys are out and even more intimate. And that's more, that's not in a sexual connotation, but like this deep emotional connection, right? So I would say that probably 5 years ago is when I started to learn, just like 5 years ago, like, whoa, man, I've been missing it. A lot of conversations I would make more about me. And then I'd realize, wait a minute, I need to shift. I need to, so all that to say, man,
you were positioned though to receive that message, because even the day you got married, you are loyal. You have been, it's still what I love about you. Like I've never heard a negative thing on your lips about Linda.
Never.
Obviously I know she's great because I get to know her, but I knew she was great before I met her, because that's all I ever heard about her.
She has to be great to put up with me. That's for sure.
But
100%.
Well, I'm not going to comment on that.
I'm the man that I am because of her. And I'll tell you that right now, 100%.
Man, we would not be anything we are without our wives. There is no doubt about it. But you were learning new things, you and Linda, to go deeper. But you also built a framework early on of love and support, where she felt cherished and loved, so that when there was that moment of hard time that y'all had to go to another level, you had already built a great great platform, a great foundation. So now you're getting new insights about yourself, which was wonderful.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to, I want to make sure you're getting honored when I'm talking, because you put so much love and focus on her, and I only heard.
I'll never forget when we made the decision to be a one income family. And this was just because she was like, I want the formidable years of our son. I just want to be there.
Yeah.
We made a huge sacrifice. Man, that girl could have made a ton of money doing what she was doing.
Yeah.
You know, she owned her own salon at one point. And so here I am, you know, working one job and then realizing that ain't enough. And she's like in tears, come home like, I don't know how we're going to pay the rent, you know? I'm like, well, I'll go out and deliver pizzas. And literally there was a season of my life where I was working as up early, ride the train downtown Dallas, work till 5 o'clock, ride that train an hour back, come home just enough to kiss her on the forehead, make a sandwich, grab a sandwich or whatever, and then head out the door to deliver pizzas.
Yeah.
And then if that wasn't enough, I was going to a church at the time and I'd played guitar, but I wasn't that great, but I knew how to teach G chord, capos, all that stuff.
Yeah. I remember
these kids, parents were like, do you know anybody that teaches guitar lessons? I'm like, I know I don't, but I can do it. And they're like, really? You know? I was like, yes. In fact, I will teach them as far as I know, can get them to a level. And then once they surpass me, we'll find somebody else for them.
Yeah.
I was like, if I just be the in-between, you know, next thing I know, I got like 8 students.
Yeah.
And so between working the full-time job, then coming home and then, you know, doing guitar lessons and then pizza for a long time.
Yes.
Like the sacrifices we made, I do not wish that upon my worst enemy. That is a hard time to live. And there are people that are listening that can understand and relate to that. But man, there was so many moments of that where I felt like, oh, we just got to do whatever we got to do, you know?
That's right.
And there wasn't, but the time we have now, like I think for me, I'm just so grateful that we're at a place to where I can actually sit down, have a conversation and go deep with just listening.
Yeah.
Before I didn't know how to do that.
Hey guys, Rhett here. Just want to take a moment and say thank you to every single one of you who have taken the time to follow us on social media. Now, if today is your first time to join us for an episode, man, we want to say welcome, friends. It's so good to have you with us. Could you take a moment, look us up on Instagram or Facebook? You can find us there at Armchair Authentic, or you can go on over to X, find us there as well at Armchair Auth Pod. That's Armchair Auth, AUTHPOD. All right, now back to the conversation.
So prime example, sitting in our chairs, end of the day, how was your day? And just shut up. Let her talk and not try to fix it.
Yeah. It's a big deal right there.
Right. And I always knew that, but like, no. And then whenever I would sense a moment where I would feel like I knew the answer to this, but I realized it's not really about the answer. She already knows the answer.
Yeah.
It's just about connecting with that feeling and that emotion and going, man, that sounds tough. That sounds hard. That's difficult.
Yeah.
When I started to be intentional with that, and I only learned that through counseling, when I've started to learn that and apply that, it's amazing how much more our relationship would begin to flourish and just grow. And because you're connecting on a deeper level. It's not just, let me fix that. Oh, I got the answer to this. Okay. No, it's like, let's just sit in this and be okay with this a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I can think back on when we decided, like, I always had that thought, you got to finish college before you get married. And we just began thinking, like, why do I think that?
Yeah.
I just think I just thought you had to. Maybe my dad's, I don't know. And me and Summer were talking about it one day, and I was like, but why wait?
Yeah.
Like, we've been dating 3 years. We know each other's the one. We're going to figure it out. Well, she was about to graduate. I still had like 2 years left. And so, not because we're separated by 2 to 3 years, but because I wasn't moving along my coursework. I was holding off music. I should have just majored in music, but I was holding off. Rhett helped me get in that. That's a whole other story. Yeah. But Summer graduates. I can only work like 17 hours a week at the Carpenter Shop Christian Bookstore in Birmingham or Vestavia Hills, Alabama. And so Summer was like the major, like she had to make the majority of the money. And she had like 2-3 jobs. I mean, it was just crazy. And that as a man, you know, it can be hard to talk like that.
Yeah.
But I've gotten over all that, whatever.
Yeah.
That's how it was. We agreed. That's how we get married.
Yeah.
We made it work. But I would go pick her up.
Oh, I told Linda, like, you can be my sugar mama all day long. Like, you go make all that money or whatever it is. You know, you just keep doing that thing, whatever it is, man. I'll be the person I'll be that husband that's got that nonprofit that just needs to be funded from your wife. I'm kidding, but I'm at the same time like, we got ministry that needs to be done, and if God's using you in this season to fund that baby, let's go. You know?
Hey, well, for us, I just wanted to graduate school.
Yeah,
and we would. I just remember she worked at Tony Roma's. We'd go over there every Thursday night.
Yeah.
We would have rent due literally the next day, and we would have just enough. She would make in tips to actually get that done and do it.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome. I mean, don't make me tell the Elton John story now. You remember that?
You mentioned something earlier, and I want to come tag back to it. It was this whole idea of you're a whole person marrying a whole person.
Yeah.
Now, I knew that in theory, but we're sitting in marriage counseling, Linda and I, with their pastors, and they like, why do you want to marry Linda?
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. I'm like, she completes me. And they're like, why do you want to marry him? Oh, he doesn't complete me. I'm already whole. So, like, this is her answer. I am whole and and I'm like, okay, all right, there you go.
Yeah.
That if that says anything about the woman I married, so she was whole, I was half, and the whole healed the half, and now I'm whole, and so now we have two holes in this marriage.
Yeah.
But
one make one.
But I was like, no, that's wow, such a slap in the face to the culture that we live in. It's such a beautiful line in Hollywood. You can play.
Oh yeah,
like
bull.
All right, bull hockey.
Yeah,
and,
that's called the Jerry Maguire marriage.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Me.
You don't
a lot
want
of people
that.
stepping into it. Then there's the crazy.
Because
you
then
got crazy in-law marriage
now
too.
you're
where people
sucking the life out of people to complete you.
Running away.
What kind of like, man? That's a lot of weight on that individual.
Yeah,
to feel like, oh man, I'm their salvation.
Oh yeah.
I've got to be your everything. Nah, that doesn't work, man.
No, that's weighty stuff.
It does not work.
Yeah.
And so two whole in Christ, I'm whole, she's whole, right? And together we make a whole.
Yeah. God's math makes sense.
It really does. Even though in your mind it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense.
Yeah. It sounds as ridiculous as today's all that new math they're trying. But God's math actually, it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense.
Dude, like 2 + 2 is 4. And I just want to get there as quick as I can.
Right.
I don't need to take a whole roadmap around the United States of America.
Show me the work. Bull.
Yeah.
Just here's the answer.
I mean,
how do you know that's the answer?
I just know. I
see it.
Don't show me the work. I don't like. Do you really need to see that? Like,
is the fact I don't know how to do the work? I mean, and then the teacher used to tell us like, well, you're not going to get to have a calculator everywhere you go. It's like,
and now all the kids get.
It's here.
My son works with a calculator all day. You can use your computers. You can use Google. You can use everything.
Let me show off a little bit. 338,000 times 432. Watch. I'll tell you right now. Man. And I can talk to somebody and order a pizza at the same time.
They would always say, you'll not always have a calculator with him. Like, well, my God, at this long on the planet, I'm
addicted to this little device. And on this little device, it is my addiction. It's got a little calculator on it.
It's so true, man.
But yeah, man, you said earlier, Ephesians 5 is so true. It's like, hey, wives, where it talks about honor and submit to your husbands. And that's been a verse that people only hear for so long. But hey, it's not hard to submit to a guy who the verse will finish. That people don't like to finish that verse as much. They love to say, wives, submit to your husband. But they don't like to say, hey, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. If we want to break it down, Christ came and loved us when we were running around on him.
Yep.
We were running around cheating on him.
Yep.
And he came to us in that moment.
It's very true.
And the guy side of me does not want to admit this, but there is some terms that me and my wife had to come to, or that really I had to come to, that I wanted to be able to express to her. And this will be like, I mean, I don't expect people to have to go along with this, but there, I told Summer this, and I had to establish this in myself, but I told her this, and I didn't realize what a healing process it became that she would later tell me for her. But if I'm going to live that verse out, there is nothing that you can do that will make me leave you.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Where's your mind go when I say that? Everybody listening.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
We were talking about this earlier.
There's nothing you can do that's going to make me ever step away. Like I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm in it. Like I do not
it's
like
for better or for worse till death do us part, or it's not.
Yeah. Or it's not.
Right.
Or it's not. So don't put all that crap in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And have that sweet little moment when you're out, the first moment that someone acts human and does something stupid.
Yep.
Stupid can happen.
Yep.
Now, do I want that to happen? Heck no.
No.
Oh my gosh, I want to punch somebody thinking about it.
Yeah.
But I'm not out.
Yeah.
I'm in. I will work through this. And I remember, sharing that with Summer. It was almost more for me to have to be able to say it, maybe because of the pride that I dealt with and the sense of justice, like you will never do wrong to me. Or maybe it was reversing a curse that I put on myself all these years as a kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just know when I released her from that and said, there's nothing you can do. Like, I'm in this with you. She would later tell me that began this healing process with her, where she had to even learn how to trust that that statement meant what it actually said. But you know what? I've never had a problem, and just kind of go with me, people, if you're being sensitive on this. If we're going to talk submission, I'll bring Summer in the room right now. I've never had a problem with Summer submitting to me. And we don't even think that way.
No.
It feels, it's like that, my mind don't even think that. But if we're going to break it down and talk about submit, Summer would tell you right now, if he says we're going, I trust him.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
Because you've laid down your life and died in every area to serve her, to honor her.
You better believe it. And I'm still finding new areas when they get exposed. I have to walk through a process to die to that.
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to become a husband that loves my wife as Christ loves the church, number one, I'll never live up to that.
Yeah.
But I can do my darndest to actually try. And so that means I'm going to express myself in that way that there's nothing that she can do that makes me out. She can upset me. She could hurt my feelings. She could crush my heart with actions that could happen. But I'm in this for better or for worse. And we've lived with that.
Yeah.
It's funny. We would usually wait till at our church, we do small groups. It would be like, if you're envisioning just gathering with a group of people, we used to always have small groups for young married. And I usually waited till about week 3 or week 4 to say that statement.
Yeah.
And I would just drop that on them. And you could feel the weight of the room.
Oh, yeah. Like, whoa.
But once again, I don't back down from it. I've said that now for, probably 24 of our 25 years. I feel like I'm living in it better now 25 years later.
Yeah.
And I don't know that every pastor who's going to listen to this under the sound of my voice likes that, because I would question you and say, if you hear what I have to say and it's a tough pill to swallow, good. It needs to be a tough pill for you to swallow. Yep. You need to go get and spend some time with God until you can come out of there and say, you know what? I'm at least willing to think about saying I won't be out if something like that happened. Yeah. Because it means you're arrogant. You're going through pride. And the only way to get out of that is to set your rights to the side and just get into the throne room and say, God, help me to be more like you so that I can be whatever I'm supposed to be to my spouse, my children. You can actually be a part to help them grow, to help them flourish, to bring the best out in them, where they're your helpmate as well. You can bring the best out in them. They're going to live to bring the best out in you. Like Rhett, you were just saying how you were in that process of feeling like a half, but then you had to become that whole, but you were challenged by your wife. So she got to help be a part to make you better, even though you had to go walk it and discover it on your own. But we're just so out on marriages these days. Yeah. We're just, it's like we have to fight. There's too much condition. Like, it's okay to fight.
Yeah, fight for your marriage.
Fair.
Yeah, fight fair. Yeah. There's a godly way to fight for your marriage.
Hang in there. Put yourself on the line.
And it doesn't mean become a doormat. No. It doesn't mean to be manipulated. It doesn't mean to be taken advantage of. It doesn't mean to be, anything toxic for you to deal with. Like, there's a healthy way to find healing in all parties, and there's a road to recovery and all that.
That's right.
But to be willing not just to give up and walk away with one, one incident, that one mistake shouldn't define, your future.
And it takes two to tango. So
it does. It takes
the other
both.
other party doesn't have to reciprocate. And you know what? If you've gone through that, and number one, there's grace in everything I'm saying. If you've already gone through this, even if you abandon somebody, you are completely forgiven if you have walked in that, and you can't do anything about it now. Maybe they've remarried, whatever it is. Yeah. You are what it is now, but grace surrounds you, and you can start fresh even right now. there's people who's hearing this now and you're going through some marriage crisis right now. As long as both parties are saying, I'm at least open to try, there's hope.
Thank God. Thank God.
hope.
God doesn't walk out on us when we screw up.
Man, I'm so
And
glad.
I think that's the beautiful thing about marriage. It's just another beautiful picture of what marriage is, a relationship of trust.
Yeah.
And a relationship of choice
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You know, and how many times have we messed up on God? You know,
man.
He didn't walk out on us.
Yeah, that's
Never
right.
leave you nor forsake you, right?
Oh, man.
He laid down his life for us. He sacrificed everything to provide that opportunity for us to have that grace through Christ. Thank God for that, man. And I just think, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, like every situation is different, and there's no shame for whatever decisions you've made.
That's right.
You can only move forward.
Grace.
Grace, 100%. But I would say, man, you know, when a husband lays down his life the way Christ loves the church, and he loves and values, and, you know, it says washes her with the word, you know, that means understanding God's character, his nature, his attributes, his walking and living within the fruits of the spirit of love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, self-control within a marriage, and demonstrating that and planting those type of seeds into your wife. Man, I haven't met one woman yet that would ever say I would have any problem following. Let's use that word instead of submit, right?
Yeah.
Following the lead or an example of a man that would lay down his life like that. I mean, not at all.
Yeah. I agree.
And also give the grace to know, hey, you know what? I'm human too. We make mistakes, but like, let's work through whatever that is.
Yeah.
And I know our minds always go to like the big rocks of like, well, an affair or whatever it is. But like sometimes there are little things that become such a huge mountain in our eyes to think, well, I can't put up with that. You know, the rest of my life, he's annoying or whatever. Well, all right, look, we've got to learn how to deal with conflict in a healthy way.
Yeah.
That brings peace, brings us together.
Yeah.
And we could go on another hour
I mean,
talking about marriage and the things we've learned.
Turn the songs, turn the TV, whatever. Turn it off if it makes you see a picture of something that is not really possible or even orchestrated the way God created
or
it.
walk out of that locker room environment, whatever that might be. If you're hanging around dudes that are talking trash about their wives, dude, find you a new group.
Yep.
Seriously.
Whatever takes away your energy, whether that's just affection,
same thing for women
your
too.
sexual energy, whatever it is on both parties, whatever it is that is taking that away, whether it's your socials, whether it's TV, whether it's music, whether it's a magazine, whether it's your friends, your circle, your group you hang out with,
or golf.
Step away from it.
A kid. Some people ask me, man, you like to play golf? I'm like, I love to play golf. How often do you play? Not as much as I'd like to. Why? Because I want my family.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, I tell people, I kid, like, you can either be really good at golf and really suck at your family, or you can be really good at your family and suck at golf. Yeah. Because, like, it takes so much time. Yeah. It takes, like, an 18-hole round is, like, can be up to, like, 5-6 hours. Yeah. And I'm like, I tell people, in this season of my life, the most important thing isn't that I'm on the golf course. It's that I'm with my family. Yeah. I'll have the golf course later. That's fine. But I'll play 9 holes. I'm good. Yeah.
Recognize your season too.
Just
that's
whatever
why,
you are. Like, just
that's why you and I are in this world of being pastors. That's why there's pastors who are making terrible decisions right now because it's easy to justify the good thing. Like we talked about last week, like we were in church when we were young and it seemed like church rats were there every time. And I loved our time in church. Yeah. But it was a way to escape having to actually have conflict. It was conflict avoidance in the name of like, I've just got high EQ. In the same way as a pastor, we can easily justify and say, I'm at a conference, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go speak at this place, all in the name of the kingdom. And I want to kind of call bull on some of this because your season right now, get home with your family. Yeah. Like, you don't have to go do that. No. You don't have to go speak at that. If you're saying you're doing that because I'm furthering the mission, somebody might be. But there's also going to be a harmony in the home where you know that's our mission. Some of you are doing that because it's a way to get out of the house and feel important again. Yeah. Because at the house, you're cleaning up a bunch of junk. You got to do the dishes.
Well, at home, you're not the hero at home.
You're average, ordinary
you
Joe.
Get out there and cut the grass. Throw the trash out. You know,
that's right.
You go pick up the poop out of the backyard from the dog. That's right.
But honey, I've got this event I got to go to. When you're really living in fear that you think if you miss out on the event, that it's going to pass you by because your identity is locked in what your career or your quote ministry is, and you're forsaking the main ministry that's right there when you could be growing a thriving marriage. We can talk
Which
kids
is
too,
the
but we're
biggest
talking
ministry you're
but we're
called
talking
to.
marriage right now,
It's
and
the
it's like
biggest ministry you're called to.
you
is
can
your
grow
family.
a thriving marriage right
Well,
now.
take somebody
you
who's-
guys will do this together one day in
Yeah.
a whole other level that you can do it right now.
We'll take away somebody who might not be married but has a kid. Well, then the same thing applies. Like, be home with your son, be home with your daughter, be home. Like, do everything you can, but know that the biggest investment isn't what you can bring to the table for finances or money. It's your time.
Yeah.
It's you looking at them in the eyes. It's your encouragement. It's your availability of being with them.
Yes.
Right. And man, yeah, we could go on and on with this. This is, it's so fun to talk about. I think the biggest thing that I always want to do with people, not only who are listening, but who I've done life with, it's real easy for them to look at, 19 years, 25 years, must be lucky to be you, or you got a really good wife, or you didn't have my wife, or you don't have my husband. I mean, if you just only knew.
Right.
And I'm thinking, no, it took work on all ends, right? And this just didn't happen overnight. It's a work in progress, but it's the understanding of being whole on both ends, doing the work, building the community, having the infrastructure of the local church and community, and growing together, in submission together, in serving together. And you know what I mean? It's so, because I mean, dude, like I guess all I'm saying, it's not always rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns.
Right.
There's hard conversations, but it's how to lovingly have those hard conversations that are in the best interest of each other.
That's right.
You don't get there overnight. You get there by making the stupid decisions, saying, "Gosh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I'm sorry."
Yes.
Well, it's out in the air now, And I'm like, and it's always me, I'm like, right. And those become less and less over time, because hopefully I'm willing to get smarter and coach myself to go, okay, if ever given another opportunity, I'm not going to do that again. You know what I mean?
You learn.
And so I say that to say, like, I hope you're looking at this through the lens, or hearing this through the lens of two guys that don't have it all figured out, but two guys that have worked really, 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 really hard.
Yeah.
And so have our wives too. They don't have to work as hard as we do, but I'll speak for me. I mean, when you marry perfection, I'm just saying, she's amazing.
That's right.
But I just hope, like, there's hope, and we all want that microwave moment, throw it in the microwave, 30 seconds, boom, the meal's ready. We're there, dude. Oh, perfect. Right. It doesn't happen that way. It's not reality. What do we say? We
crock pot.
Yeah. We want a microwave moment, if you will, but we serve a crock pot God,
That's
it's
right.
like, it just takes time. And there's
And it's okay. You can mess up. All these things happen, but you learn. It's like the conflict avoidance. Once again, reference from last week. Conflict avoidance. The best growth happens when you actually are iron sharpening iron, and you have conflict that's happening, and you feel like, I'm so angry right now. But it's like, if you pursue it, you will work through this, and you come out. You come out so much stronger. It's like, if you're in a fight right now, and it's like, call a timeout, meet back 30 minutes later. Go do the dishes, do whatever you're going to do, meet back, and you'll realize most of the time we're arguing over something stupid. And my temper has now set in right now. And it was something that could have been alleviated quick. Usually it's my arrogance that ends up happening.
Hey, no, that's good. Like, the best words you can learn how to say is, "I'm sorry, forgive me, please forgive me. I made," like, humble yourself, man. And man, I've learned how to say that a lot, and not just in a knee-jerk response to try to bring peace. Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Oh, can we go back and be better?
Yeah.
Oh, can we? Oh, okay, I can breathe again. Thank you. No, like, really repentant, like understanding what you said, or whatever the situation was, understanding the effect and the impact those words or that action had, in apologizing for not only doing it, but how it made that person feel, to connect with them relationally. And that's been huge for me over time. I know this is not a parenting conversation, but it just I had this thought. A lot of people, and my son, look, glass cage, for a while as a PK, not so much now, but with what we do, but he's always been a really, really good kid, just well-rounded individual. If you meet him, you're going to see somebody who's very kind, say, "Yes, sir." "Yes, ma'am."
A good kid, for sure.
Look you in the eyes, shake your hand, lean in, listen. He's still a teenager. He's still a kid. He makes mistakes. But when he was 3 or 4 years old, we'd get a lot of this. Oh, well, you just got lucky. Oh, you just got lucky. It's the lazy response. Oh, you don't have my kid. If you had my kid, man, I wish I would have. Like, you got lucky. That kid is just, so nice and so kind. And our response is, we appreciate what you're trying to say, but we didn't get lucky. Mm-hmm. Okay. We've been very intentional.
Yeah.
And it's tiring, it's exhausting, it's constant correction, it's constant love with correction, truth and grace and comfort and encouragement. And hey, no, remember, it's yes, sir, for us Southerners, it's a big deal. Some people in the current country could care less.
Get mad.
Whatever.
Yeah, we like it.
But like, hey, I want you to look next time, look them in the eyes and shake their hand, give a firm handshake, whatever.
Yeah.
Not just behavior modification, but a heart transformation tied into learning how to be a emotional aware human being and how to be attentive and how to operate in this world, and I'll just tell parents, man, no, like it has nothing to do with luck, man. It's just all about intentionality.
Yeah.
And there should be consequences, and those consequences look different to every action. And there needs to be an accountability to everything, to teach and train your kids. Same thing happens in marriage, any great relationship. Intentionality, making time, being accountable to it, and creating the boundaries around it to help it grow to be healthy.
That's right.
I always think of a fire, in the Northwest, very dry climate. They always have fire bans, right? Where like, hey, don't make any fires because the ground is like it could spark and you could create this huge wildfire. But even when it's not a burn ban, if you will, or, they have these moments where they're like, hey, you can have fires as long as they're contained. Because when they're contained within the rocks or within whatever boundary you set, what do fires do? They bring warmth. They bring a provision. You can heat food. You can cook food. Like they're wonderful. Like
you can
marriage.
Make s'mores.
Oh, make s'mores. Fires are an amazing thing. But the moment the boundary leaves, in the moment a spark jumps out of that boundary, a wildfire can happen. And what happens? Death, destruction, toil, heartache, chaos. And I just think the same is true with marriage. You get that, or any great relationship.
Yeah.
Healthy boundaries, intentionality, but you got to have intentionality with those boundaries.
Yeah.
It can be a very life-giving relationship. So we can keep talking,
beautiful.
but
yeah. I mean, hey, happy anniversary week.
Happy anniversary, baby. I got you on my mind. I stole that one from R&B, baby. Do they still do that? Rick and Bubba?
Oh, they're no longer.
Oh, they are? Hey, well, that's our thing now.
The Rick Burgess.
Happy anniversary, baby.
But no, it is true, man. This is such a fun week. And obviously a topic we're very, very passionate about. And we would lean in if anybody has comments or you want to send us stuff with more questions. We'd be happy to open that up as we continue to expand topics as we're going to be hitting summertime before you know it. But we are definitely passionate about this subject because, man, we love our wives. We're better men because of what they've done for us and the role that they play in our lives.
So grateful. Hey, and Linda, if you're listening, probably not. That's because you're incredibly busy. I love you. Happy anniversary, baby. I got you on my
Happy anniversary, my Sammy. Love you. Congrats on your doctorate.
Yes, congratulations. Awesome. We love you guys.
See you next Monday.
On the next episode of Armchair Authentic, our conversation with a woman of God who is ferociously in love with Jesus. She's a God chaser, a freedom fighter, a public speaker, life coach, author, widow, and widow's advocate. This is someone who has learned how to see God in the midst of their pain. A little sneak peek of our conversation with Jillian Chambers.
Even in the midst of our trauma and our pain, if we will allow God to, he will show himself. He will reveal to us that he's with us. I felt so abandoned, to be honest with you. I think sometimes we see pain as punishment. And I remember I kept thinking, Lord, what did I do wrong that he had to die? Like, what did I miss? And the Lord was like, this isn't about anything that you've done wrong. You just have to trust me. We all have a life script. Whether we admit it or not, we kind of think things are going to turn out a certain way by a certain time. And I remember having to surrender my script because this was nothing that I would have ever written in my life. I mean, I just turned 50 years old. I don't want to be a widow. It wasn't on my 2020 vision list to become a widow. And I didn't even understand that world at all.
Man, we cannot wait for that conversation. But until then, we hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will see you next Monday for a new episode of Armchair Authentic right here with your friends, Rhett and Justin. We'll see you soon.